Hello and welcome to Finextra. I'm Emily Horler and I'm here with Anne Cairns of MasterCard, and we're talking about digital inclusion. Thank you very much for joining me, Anne.
Thank you.
So how do you define digital inclusion, and why is it a priority for a company like MasterCard?
You know, when you think of all of the population of the world and you think who's actually connected through the internet, then there's over half the world's population that are excluded because they have no means of being digitally connected. And the thing is, that's really important, because if everything's moving to the Internet of Things, what you're going to create is a society that's even more the haves and have-nots in terms of digital connectivity and inclusion. And I think it's very important to think about everyone having an identity. Without an identity, you know, you're just a mother or a sister or a daughter. You're not a person in your own right that someone can connect to. It's very important to be able to connect into the financial system so that you have the opportunity to actually save, to open a small business, to really grow your capability and your assets along with the real world. And I think it's really important to have a much wider connectivity socially around the world, because without that, in the internet age, you're going to live a very different life from so many people on the planet.
What innovative technologies specifically have a role to play in ensuring digital and financial inclusion?
Well, I mentioned the fact that identity is very important. So what we've seen is in countries where people don't have passports or driver's licenses, then being able to roll out a digital identity is something that governments are really focused on. And the type of technologies that are used for that are starting to be biometric technologies, so people can have their fingerprints taken, their voice recognition, and it can be linked to a chip on a card or a chip inside a telephone. That's one way of doing it. Other things that are happening, you know, in the developed world, devices are now being opened using your thumbprint. Also, there are devices that are wearable devices that can identify who you are from your heart rate. And if you want to be persistently authenticated, to be able to move around and not have to worry about producing a device to, you know, identify who you are, persistent authentication through wearables is something that could take off, you know, quite well in the future. These are the sorts of technologies that are out there. But I think probably at the sort of basics is mobile technology, because to reach everyone through telephones is becoming the ubiquitous way to do it. And here at MasterCard, we're working with a whole range of telcos around the world to actually get that inclusion to happen.
What's the role of partnerships in enabling companies like MasterCard to support digital inclusion across all the markets that need it globally?
If you think about trying to reach everyone in a country, then obviously a government is a very important player in that country, because they may be trying to reach everyone through benefits payments, or they may be trying to collect taxes. It's a two-way flow. Whichever way you look at it, governments are very important players in inclusion. Then you think about the private sector. And obviously, to reach everyone through mobile, then you really need to engage the telecommunications companies in the country. And also, you have to think about the underlying infrastructure, and that often involves reaching local technology players. Other players that are very important in this space are the NGOs and the foundations. Recently, we opened a lab in Kenya where we're actually working with the Gates Foundation to develop brand new products designed and built by Africans to actually reach, you know, another 100 million people on the planet. So if you think about governments, public-private partnerships, working with a big global company like MasterCard that has a ubiquitous single network across over 200 countries in the world, that's the kind of thing that you need to build a new ecosystem that includes everyone.
Anne, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching.